can get into that microphone.
What time is
We
it?
have some more water.
What time is it?
Yes, we do have some more water, and it is 7:07.
Thank you. You only got another 20 minutes anyway, so I'm good.
All right, Lloyd, you got to answer it now.
Yeah, I know. No. I'm fixing to go out on a limb.
Thank you.
Okay. Question number 4. Will you support an effort to either acquire the Southside Canals from the Purcell Corporation as an amenity, and or will you support filing a lawsuit on behalf of the members to require them to maintain them after the storms and dredge them?
Okay, so I'm going to step out on a limb here. I've always said if I don't know the answer to a question or if I'm not familiar with something, I'm going to state it. I'm not familiar with this. I can't pick one way or the other. I have no thoughts on it because I'm not familiar with the situation. So at this point, I would have to gather information and learn more about it before I could make any type of a suggestion or proposal of any kind.
Thank you, Mr. Ramirez.
That would be my position as well.
Same here. I don't know enough to expound on it.
Thank you, Ronnie. Teresa?
Same answer. I don't know enough about the south side and the canals to venture a guess. I know that we're trying to get a grant to do some dredging, but filing a lawsuit, no.
Okay.
I don't believe anybody's in favor of filing any more lawsuits. We have enough running around as it is.
I agree with that.
But if Purcell does own those canals and there is debris in it, they should be held accountable for dredging them. I don't know what it's going to take to make them do it, but it should be their responsibility if they own it. People live and depend on those canals on the south side.
Just to clarify, the water bottoms underneath the water are owned by Purcell. The water itself is a navigable waterway, so anyone can use them. I'm not in favor of any more lawsuits. The POA, when I first moved here, was involved with a lawsuit with Purcell. I think Al Kronvich was the president at the time, relative to paying dues and not paying dues. I believe the POA spent some $200,000 on that particular suit, and it was eventually dropped, and everything stayed as it was. The best thing that could happen to the canals is for those to be given to the state, and for the state to maintain them and take care of them, just like most of the water bottoms on the coast are owned by the Department of Marine Resources. And if that was done, there would be federal grant money, state grant money, and state money from the general budget for marine resources that could take care of those canals. The other alternative would be, if there's any profit from the marina, to use the profit from the marina to maintain the canals. I don't know what the cost would be because I'm not an engineer, but options have to be looked at. Those canals are important for the marina and for the ambiance that is Diamondhead.
Thank you, Pat. Question number 5. With the Diamondhead POA in the best financial condition it has been in quite some time, and pending a judgment from the People's Bank for over an additional $1 million, do you support the passing of a public parcel tax on all Diamondhead properties to fund the amenities at this time? If so, why or why not?
Did you say new amenities? That is amenities that,
All amenities.
if the POA continues to own, and we will continue to own our amenities, I see no need for the city to propose a parcel tax. Before the city can propose a parcel tax, they first have to get approval from the state, and then it has to come back for us for our vote. I don't see any reason or any need for a parcel tax.
Thank you, Dennis. Mr. Ramirez.
Excuse me. Falling down.
Short answer, no, I do not see any reason for a parcel tax.
I do not see any reason either.
Nada.
I'm not in favor of parcel tax either.
Anybody that's followed me on social media knows I'm not in favor of a parcel tax. It's a terribly regressive tax that impacts people who live in small homes much more than people who live in large homes. You know, we have an immature city that's only been here for a few years. We don't have a city-run police department. You know, it's contracted out to the sheriff's office. The fire department is still a separate taxing entity. The Sewage and Water Board is at least appointed by the city, but it's not a profit center for the city. So adding another tax and the city taking on more responsibility at this time before it's matured and found its legs, so to speak, is just a bad idea all the way around.
Thank you, Pat. Question number 6. Please expound upon what you know about the Purcell first right of refusal if the DHPOA is abandoned.
The first right of refusal is listed in the takeover agreement, which was recently renewed. The takeover agreement, which was an agreement between Purcell and the Property Owners Association, I believe in 1984. That agreement is a fairly unique agreement because at the time it was signed originally, Purcell and the POA were the same people. Purcell had sufficient votes that they completely controlled the POA. They pretty much appointed the POA board, and the attorney that handled the takeover agreements, the documents and the signature of those documents, was the attorney for Purcell. So it really wasn't an arm's length transaction. It was really done by the same person. The right hand signed one part of the agreement, the left hand signed the other. Recently the POA renewed that agreement. I think that was a bad idea too, because it gives the developer influence over what the POA does past the 50-year point where they were not supposed to have any influence. In addition, there are federal issues involved relative to HUD and Interstate Land Sales Act. Relative to the other first right of refusal, that's contained in the deed. The deed says that before the POA can dispose of properties, they have to have Purcell permission. However, that deed has provisions in it that after a certain percentage of properties are sold, Purcell's first right of refusal goes away. We may already be at that point. I haven't been able to calculate exactly how many properties Purcell had platted at the time that the deed was transferred to the POA and what percentage of those properties are left. But it's possible that that first right of refusal may no longer exist.
Mr. Ramirez.
So as I understand it, if the DPOA was to go away and the entities were to be either turned over to private organizations or to the city or whatever the case may be, that before that could take place, that Purcell had the option to come in and regain those amenities.
Patricia.
That's also my understanding.
Ronnie.
I have no additional comment.
I have no additional comment.
Dennis.
Same here, no additional comment.
Okay, and our final question of the debate this evening. Pretty simple yes or no question. So we're just going to go around the table, left to right, starting with Mr. Ramirez, and work our way down. But are you currently representing or on a ticket with additional candidates?
The answer to that is no, since there is no ticket in Diamondhead.
Yes or no? Yes.
No, I am not.
No, I am not.
Again, you took the words. No, I am not.
No, I am not.
No.
Thank you so much for your input this evening. Diamondhead is very lucky to have such well-qualified candidates for this particular election. Really appreciate everybody's input at this time. The debate has concluded. So thanks again, everyone, and please, best of luck to you all, and have a great evening.